Escape from Darkness. One Princess's Journey to Hope. Chapter 1. The Gilded Cage. In the kingdom of Arendor, nestled between jagged mountains and whispering forests, PrincessElara was born under a sky streaked with crimson and gold. Her father, King Aldrich, ruled with an iron hand, and her mother, Queen Lysandra, was a shadow of sorrow, her laughter long silenced by the weight of the crown. Elara, their only child, was the kingdom's jewel, a beacon of hope in a land shrouded by fear. Arendor was a kingdom under a curse, though few dared speak of it. Decades ago, Aldrich's grandfather had struck a pact with a dark sorcerer to secure his throne. In exchange for power, the royal bloodline was bound to a creeping darkness, a malevolent force that twisted hearts and clouded minds. By the time Elara was 16, the curse had tightened its grip. The king's decrees grew cruel, the skies dimmed, and the people lived in dread of the shadows that seemed to move with purpose in the night. Elara's life was one of opulence but isolation. The palace, with its towering spires and golden halls, was her prison. She was forbidden to leave its walls, her every step watched by guards loyal to her father. Yet, Elara was no wilting flower. Her spirit burned bright, fueled by stories of the world beyond, tales of starlit meadows, bustling markets, and heroes who defied fate. She read forbidden books smuggled by her handmaiden, Mira, and dreamed of a life unbound by fear. One night, as a storm raged outside, Elara discovered a hidden truth. Tucked within a dusty tome in the palace library, she found a letter written in her mother's delicate hand. It spoke of the curse, its origins, and a prophecy. Only one of royal blood, pure of heart, could break the darkness by finding the light of Eloria, a mythical artifact hidden in the heart of the Forbidden Wastes. The letter ended with a plea. Elara, my light, you must be free. Chapter 2. The Spark of Rebellion. Elara's heart pounded as she read her mother's words. Freedom was a dangerous dream, but the prophecy ignited something within her, a resolve to escape and save her kingdom. She confided in Mira, a sharp-witted girl with a knack for secrets. Together, they devised a plan. Mira's brother, Torin, was a guard with access to the palace's hidden passages. Though hesitant, Torin agreed to help, driven by loyalty to Mira and a quiet hatred for the king's tyranny. Under the guise of a festival, when the palace was distracted by revelry, Elara slipped into a servant's cloak. Torin led her through a labyrinth of tunnels beneath the palace, their torchlight flickering against damp stone walls. The air was thick with the scent of earth and forgotten things. As they neared the exit, a guard's shout echoed behind them. Torin shoved Elara forward, urging her to run. She stumbled into the night, the cold air biting her skin, and fled into the forest as the sounds of pursuit faded. Alone, Elara felt both terror and exhilaration. The world beyond the palace was vast and untamed. Stars glittered above, and the forest hummed with life crickets chirping, leaves rustling. She had no map, only her mother's letter and a dagger Mira had pressed into her hand. Her destination was the Forbidden Wastes, a desolate land avoided even by the bravest. But first, she needed allies. Chapter 3. The Outcast's Haven. Elara wandered for days, her fine clothes tattered, her stomach aching with hunger. She avoided villages, fearing her father's spies. On the 5th day, she stumbled upon a camp hidden in a ravine. Rough-looking men and women moved about, their faces weathered but kind. They were outcasts, rebels, deserters, and those who had fled the king's wrath. Their leader, a scarred woman named Kale, eyed Elara with suspicion. "I know you," Kale said, her voice low. "The princess who lives in a golden cage." Elara stood tall, though fear gnawed at her. "I've escaped that cage. I seek the light of Eloria to break the curse on Arendor." The camp fell silent. Kale's eyes narrowed, but a flicker of respect passed through them. She tested Elara's resolve with questions, probing her knowledge of the prophecy. Satisfied, Kale offered her a place among them. "You're no princess here," she warned. "You earn your keep." Elara adapted quickly, learning to wield her dagger, mend clothes, and listen to the outcast's stories. Among them was Riven, a quiet young man with haunted eyes and a talent for tracking. He taught her to read the stars and move silently through the woods. Though he rarely spoke of his past, Elara sensed a deep wound, one tied to the king's cruelty. Their bond grew slowly, built on shared silences and mutual trust. Chapter 4. The Shadow's Pursuit. King Aldrich's rage shook the palace when he learned of Elara's escape. He summoned his most trusted enforcer, a sorcerer named Valthor, whose loyalty was bound by the same dark magic that cursed the kingdom. Valthor's eyes glowed with an unnatural light as he unleashed shadow wraiths, creatures of smoke and malice, to hunt Elara. The wraiths could sense royal blood, and they moved swiftly, leaving despair in their wake. Elara and the outcasts faced their first attack in a moonless valley. The wraiths descended, their whispers chilling the air. Kale's fighters battled with fire and steel, but the creatures were relentless. Elara, clutching her dagger, stood her ground as a wraith lunged. Riven pulled her back, his blade slicing through the shadow. The outcasts prevailed, but not without loss. 3 of their own lay dead, their faces frozen in terror. Kale decided the camp was no longer safe. They would journey to the Forbidden Wastes together, for Elara's quest had become their own. The outcasts saw in her a chance for redemption, a way to reclaim their stolen lives. As they prepared, Riven revealed a secret. He was the son of a scholar who had studied the light of Eloria. Before his father's execution, he had spoken of a map hidden in the ruins of an ancient temple. It was their only lead. Chapter 5. The Temple of Whispers. The journey to the temple was treacherous, crossing rivers swollen with rain and cliffs slick with moss. Elara's resolve wavered as exhaustion set in, but Riven's steady presence kept her grounded. At night, they shared stories by the fire. Elara of her mother's kindness, Riven of his father's courage. Their hands brushed once, and though neither spoke of it, the moment lingered. The temple, half buried in vines, stood at the edge of a chasm. Its walls were etched with runes that glowed faintly under torchlight. Inside, the air was heavy, and whispers seemed to echo from the stones. Riven found the map, carved into a slab of obsidian, but as he touched it, the temple shuddered. Traps sprang to life, arrows flew, and the floor cracked open. Elara's quick thinking saved Kale from a falling beam, and together they escaped with the map. The map revealed the path to the Forbidden Wastes, marked by cryptic warnings. Beware the mirror of truth, and the light demands sacrifice. Elara felt a chill, but there was no turning back. The outcasts, now fewer in number, pressed on, their hope pinned on her. Chapter 6. The Forbidden Wastes. The Forbidden Wastes were a land of ash and bone, where the sun barely pierced the haze. The ground was littered with the remains of those who had sought the light and failed. Elara's dreams grew dark, filled with visions of her father's rage and her mother's tear-streaked face. The wraiths attacked again, more ferocious now, and the outcasts fought with dwindling strength. At the heart of the wastes stood the mirror of truth, a towering slab of crystal that reflected not the body but the soul. Each outcast faced it, confronting their fears and regrets. Kale saw her brother, lost to the king's dungeons. Riven saw his father's execution. Elara, trembling, saw herself a girl torn between duty and freedom, her heart heavy with the lives lost for her quest. The mirror whispered, "To claim the light, you must surrender what you hold dear." Beyond the mirror lay the light of Eloria, a radiant orb pulsing with warmth. As Elara reached for it, Valthor appeared, his shadow wraiths at his side. "You cannot break the curse," he sneered. "It is your bloodline's doom." The battle was fierce. Kale fell, her sacrifice giving Elara time to grasp the light. Its power surged through her, burning away fear. She faced Valthor, her dagger glowing with the light's energy. With a cry, she struck, and the sorcerer dissolved into ash, the wraiths vanishing with him. Chapter 7. The Dawn of Hope. Elara returned to Arendor, the light in her hands. The curse lifted as she entered the palace, the skies clearing and the shadows retreating. King Aldrich, weakened by the curse's end, wept as Elara confronted him. She spared his life, choosing mercy over vengeance, and vowed to rule with compassion. The kingdom rebuilt slowly. Elara, now queen, honored the outcast's sacrifices, making Riven her advisor and friend. The light of Aloria was enshrined in the palace, a reminder of hope's triumph over darkness. Though scars remained, Arendor bloomed anew, and Alara's journey from a caged princess to a beacon of hope became legend.